My life has changed in a lot of things since I started the university. The thing that has most changed is my free time. I used to have a lot of free time, just going to classes in the morning and then in the afternoon I wouldn't do anything, just stay in my bed or my phone. But now I go to classes in the morning and then in the afternoon I have to do all my homework and reading. And I think that in here we can include that I don't have the same daily routines because of the same reason. I don't do the same things that I used to and that I would like to do because I don't have time. Therefore, I think that there are some things that haven't changed. For example, my relationship with my family. I try to always keep contact and make time to talk to them and to visit my relatives. This is something really valuable to me, so I try to always have contact with them. One thing that I love that has not changed with my transition from high school to the university is my relationship with my friends. It's something that hasn't changed. I keep contact with the same friends that I used to when I was in high school, and now I also have some new ones that I made in the university. The first thing that comes to my mind when talking about global development is that I think this is something that will continue developing as fast as it has been, or even more. I cannot find a logical reason why it would stop. People are always trying to make life better and easier in different aspects. A good example of this is how people create robots to do the work that a person would do just because it's faster. Not everything is related to the development of technology. This is the case of the creation and use of new vaccines created to stop the spread of diseases or to stop the creation of new ones. Although the creation of vaccines and development of technologies is good for us people, not everything is so good. And the climate change is something that is becoming more and more affected by this development. A clear example of this is how many water we use when we use the internet. This could go up to hundreds of liters. Another example of how technology affects the environment is the amount of trees that can get cut just because we need more space to put spaces of work and things to develop the technology. I don't think I can describe myself as just one type of traveler. I don't even think someone can. I love being at different places and doing different things. But besides that, I would say that I am more like a city traveler, but just because I love the city and I love living in one. However, I also love being in the countryside or at the beach because both of those places give me a lot of peace, and I think that is where you can think about whatever you want. Also, and then you can connect more with nature and start worrying about all the contamination in the water or earth you can find. My favorite place to go to holiday is my grandmother's house. She lives in the south of the country, and I think that is the most beautiful place, and you can find the most impressive things. And you can find beach, the river, and also the countryside. And they are not even away from each other. They're no more than 10 minutes away. I also love it there because there you can admire relatives and my grandmother, some of my uncles and aunties, and that. I think that the place I would love to visit is New York because it's a beautiful and breathtaking place, a city, and you can find everything there from stores to nature, like the Central Park or the Statue of Liberty. But after all, I still cannot decide which type of traveler I am. I truly believe that that depends on the mood I am. Sometimes I want to be alone. I want, or in others, I want to be with 100 friends. And other times, I want to be full of rounded by trees and nature, river, and all. And others, I want to be with surrounded by buildings and walls and fake lights, and it's really hard to decide the the type of traveler I am and I want to be. I think that when a language dies, part of our culture dies with it because language is part of our history, part of what happened in the past. So without this, we would be mostly losing knowledge of what happened. Personally, I think that to save them from dying, the first thing that we need to do is use the language. This is going to be the only way of saving it, and not just speaking it. Can be writing a book, for example, or recording some tapes for us to have the day it dies. It's important that we do these things because I'm not an expert, but I think that there are hundreds of languages that died and we didn't even notice, or languages that died and we have no proof that they existed. Keep them from dying is hard because some of them are spoken just for a few people, and it's also hard because not so many people are interested on learning a language that is not going to be very useful as it would be Chinese or English, for example. In our country, we can find many indigenous languages, and I think that the ways of preserving them are the same that we use with any other. Learning them, writing a text about it, and saving tapes of people talking in the language. But sometimes that we have to give in our favor is that we don't have to travel miles and miles just to meet someone who speaks a language that we don't know. We can just drive a few hours and there they will be. Like Mapudungun, for example, is a language that we can find in the south of the country, and still um, we don't do many things to preserve them.